In a TV landscape filled with superheroes, de-aged space wizards, and a whole lot of action, stunt people are more in demand now than they've ever been before. This year's Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Television Series is a packed crowd of big names. Now, most people probably know these shows involve a ton of stunt work and visual effects, but some might be surprised about the amount of planning that goes into the physics of any given scene. Whether it's flying, falling, fighting, or, The Boys is a show that requires a massive amount of planning by the stunt team before anything real can be brought to the screen. I recently sat down over Zoom with Tig Fong,
Hey, good morning over there.
the stunt coordinator for The Boys' first 2 seasons, to talk about some of the action highlights from Season 2, and to learn what it takes to make it all look so good. We're going to break down some of the biggest stunts of the season. From the introduction of Stormfront to the exit of Lamplighter, Season 2 of The Boys has a lot of diverse action set pieces. So obviously the most important question is, what was the most difficult?
I can tell just from looking at my budgets, it's like 3 times the budget of every other episode.
Tig quickly focused on episode 3.
When I read the episode, I thought, could this happen over 2 episodes maybe, at least in shoot time? Because I don't know how we're going to do this within the frame of a regular, episodic shoot. It really felt like twice as much action at the very least.
The fight scene that introduces Stormfront's powers is split up into 2 distinct sections, inside and outside. The scene starts outside, goes inside, and then goes outside again. Every step of the process, of course, laid out well in advance. The inside was designed by the team in what is called a previs, short for pre-visualization, an early cut that essentially helps the whole team behind the show plan not only how to fight, but also how to film that fight. But first, the stunt team has to figure out how to make each transition, especially since one of them is through a wall.
There was a lot to do to build that. What people don't really realize, we had to do the ratchet outside. We had to then marry that to the shot inside and studio. Where they came through the wall, we had to build a test wall that we pulled our performers through prior to the day, because we needed to know how much pressure will get them through the wall and into the center of the room. Mm-hmm. Less pressure means the wall just kind of crumples and you're like, oh, well, that was sad. Too much pressure and you're yanking them through the set and to hit the real wall.
If the previs works the way it should, it will often look very similar to the final product, as it does here. While that happens a lot, sometimes things change by the time the episode is wrapped. This is true of the latter outside part of this same fight. After Kenji escapes Stormfront, he jumps from one building to another. In the final product, we see the long jump from 5 different camera angles of varying lengths. The scene only lasts about 6 seconds, and some may not have thought much of it if they weren't closely watching. In real life, it was quite a bit more involved than 6 seconds. The segment took a whole 3 days to set up and film.
You have a person on a higher platform, in this case 6-story high rooftop. We have to get them to a lower platform, 60 feet away. So you're going to need a large arc. And to get that large arc, right, you're going to have enough height above the 6-story buildings. I don't know how high we quite set our crane to, but again, that's the reason for the very large crane. Because they're going up off of this and then going down, we use the high-speed winch that is computer controlled, so that when the performer jumps, they're going to run as fast as they can and jump. And when they jump, we're going to take up some of their line and then we're going to pay them out and accelerate them all the way until they get close to where their landing point is. And then we have calculated per second deceleration that we put into our high-speed winch. So all of this is computer programmed and completely repeatable. We also had to work out path of the drone that actually followed the shot. And again, unfortunately, we don't see a lot of that in the final edit because the way it was cut, you don't see the large arc that was created and that the drone followed him on. So much scope that we had that we didn't quite see, that had I known it was going to be cut that way, and we could have probably cheat a takeoff over here, cheat a landing over here, and then take a low camera angle, put him 10 feet over the ground and have him jump over the camera. Now you cut those 3 things together, are they not the same thing? I mean, they're going to look the same.
While episode 3 was clearly the biggest of the season for the stunt team, it's important to remember it was only one of 8 episodes. Other episodes included a building implosion, flying sex, burning death,
What the fuck?
and head explosions. All scenes that require some form of stunt work. If you liked this video, make sure to keep an eye out for my upcoming interview with the Cobra Kai stunt coordinators, where we'll break down stunts from Cobra Kai's third season in a similar fashion.